At the very start of your typing course, it is important that you learn to use your 8 fingers on their proper keys without looking at the keyboard. Master these guide keys first, and then learn the feel of the motion to all the other keys in relation to the guide keys. Keep your stroking rate even. Watch closely while I type at about 20 words a minute. Notice the constant rate and the even pauses between strokes. Note the spare time between strokes. My fingers move rapidly and then rest. As my rate increases, the pauses become shorter, but my fingers move only as fast as they did at the slower rate. For example, 25 words a minute would be about like this. "35 words a minute would be like this. By gradually shortening the pauses and using the time for additional strokes, I am able to roll right along at 50 words a minute, 70, 90, 120, 140, 180 words a minute. Except to show you how easy it is to type rapidly and well, high typing speeds, like 180 words a minute, are relatively useless. If you develop a comfortable cruising rate of between 60 and 80 words a minute, you will have a most excellent working speed. This will produce about 80 manuscript pages a day. This device is called a typefacer. It is run by a motor and can be set to fixed typing rates. Notice how much spare time there is between strokes at 15 words a minute. At 30 words a minute. "45 words a minute. And 60 words a minute. The fast and accurate typist strokes her keys with rhythmic timing, each letter being given just as much time as every other letter. Watch how every stroke has a definite beat. Some words are easier to type than others. But look what happens when I stroke the easy words faster. I lose my rhythmic rate, and the type bars may clash. With a constant rate, you won't make as many errors as you will at an erratic rate. Keep a notebook for your errors. Write down the different words and difficult letter combinations like D-E-C-E or M-U-N-Y or O-N-Y in different words which you mistype more than once. Practice these words and practice these letter combinations until you are writing them perfectly. As you overcome your typing errors, cross them out in your notebook. Learn to control yourself in your typing until your eyes and your fingers do exactly what you want them to do when you want them to do it. Your head is the most important part of you in typing. You can type only as fast as you can think. Concentrate. At first, you may only be able to do this for a short while, but with practice, you can increase the time until you can type for a whole day. Don't fight your typewriter. You can't win. Don't blame your typewriter. Blame yourself. Your typewriter does exactly what you make it do, but it does no more. You should have a good working knowledge of the various parts of your typewriter and their function. This rubber-covered roll about which the paper turns is called the platen. On some machines, platens may be easily lifted out for cleaning or replacement. On the L.C. Smith, for example, these latches hold the platen in position. Pull them forward at the left and the right and lift out the platen. To replace, just reverse the procedure. The platen on the Remington is taken out by lifting up the platen roll laterally at each end of the roll. And then lifting out the platen. It is just as easily replaced. Never move the carriage return lever when the platen is out, or you'll have trouble getting the platen in. To remove the platen on the electromatic, pull these latches back with your thumb. And at the same time, lift the platen up and out. When the platen is replaced, pull the latches back and drop the platen into position. You should also be familiar with the carriage scale on your typewriter. The carriage scale is used to center headings in the same manner on all machines except the Remington Noiseless and the Underwood. This pointer is known as the printing indicator. Some machines use a white line. It indicates on the carriage scale the point where the next letter will be written. It is especially useful in centering and tabulating. This is the alignment scale. It is similar on all machines and indicates the bottom of the line of writing. If you turn the paper up to make a correction, the paper is turned back so the line of type is even with the edge of the alignment scale. The scale is marked with vertical lines, which indicate letter or character spacing. helpful if the paper has slipped and has to be adjusted to the right or left. This type guide is the same on all machines. It shows you exactly where the next letter you strike will appear on the paper. If you have moved your carriage for any reason, this guide will permit you to reset your work properly. The line space adjusting lever is on the left side of all machines. It sets the typewriter for single line spacing, double line spacing, or triple line spacing. Most typewriters have line space regulators marked 1, 2, 3. On the woodstock, this button operates the line space regulator. Push the carriage return lever out of the way and pull out the knob. Up position is for single line spacing, center position is for double line spacing, and down position is for triple line spacing. On the electromatic, this lever adjusts the line spacing. The back position sets the machine for triple spacing. Center position is for double spacing, while the front position is for single spacing. Sometimes it becomes necessary to insert an omitted word above the line of type or to fill in printed forms. When this occurs, use the line space disengaging lever or the variable line spacer. You may want to use a diagonal mark to indicate the place in the line where the extra word or words belong, like this. The ratchet on the platen automatically turns the platen a certain fixed amount each time. Pulling the line space disengaging lever forward allows the platen to turn freely. Turn down the sheet the required amount and write in the desired word. On the L.C. Smith, this lever controls the platen spring release. Push it back and the platen can be turned independently of the spacing produced by the ratchet. Pull it forward and the spacing is lined up without further adjustment. All machines have a variable line space control attachment on the left cylinder knob. Push in this button or knob and the line space ratchet is disengaged and the platen can be turned to any position. Release the knob, and the regular spacing is renewed. When using the variable line space control, the work in the machine frequently becomes offline, like this. Before proceeding, use the variable to line up your work with the alignment scale. All typewriters have margin controls. On the Remington, They are located back of the paper table. First, move your margin stop to the outer extreme. Then place your paper in position. Set the carriage for the left margin. Move this stop in as far as it will go. Then move the carriage to the right margin. Move this stop in as far as it will go. Now both margins are set. After the warning bell rings, you can write 8 more letters before the carriage locks. The carriage is now locked. With different machines, this will vary from 5 to 9 spaces. If additional spaces are required, press the margin release, and you may write to the edge of the paper. The margin release will likewise enable you to type in the left margin. However, in moving to the left, the margin release key should be held down until the carriage reaches the left typing position. Margin setting varies on different machines. To set the left margin on a Royal machine, pull this lever forward. Place the carriage in the position for the left margin. Then push the lever back. The left margin is now set. Repeat the performance for the right margin. Right lever forward, locate carriage, push the lever back. Now both margins are set. On the L.C. Smith, set the left margin by moving this lever to the up position. Then shift the carriage to the desired margin position. Let the lever come back to neutral. Do the same for the right margin, only move the lever down. Let it come back to neutral, and the margins are set. On the Underwood, the marginal stops are set on the front of the typewriter. Move these marginal stops to the desired marginal point, and the margins are set. When you come to the right margin, press the margin release key to type 4 more spaces. If additional spaces are required, the marginal stop will have to be moved. The margin stops on the burrows are set by hand. There is also an extra stop which can be moved to any point between the right and the left margin stop. To return the carriage all the way, press down the carriage return key quickly. To return the carriage to the center stop, hold down the key until the carriage stops. This center stop may be used for the date and closing of a letter or for typing two-column work. All machines have some form of ribbon control. Here's the control on the L.C. Smith. When the knob is set to the left under the black indicator, the type will strike the upper part of the ribbon. When set to the right under the red indicator, it will strike the lower part of the ribbon. When you write a stencil, the knob is set in the center position under the white indicator. In this position, the type doesn't strike the ribbon at all. The ribbon control on the Underwood works in the same manner. On the Remington, the knob may be lifted up or down as required. This is identical on the Woodstock. The Royal uses a horizontal control. Extreme right position being used for writing stencils. This is the ribbon control on the Burroughs. The central position is for normal typing. For writing stencils, the lever is moved to the right. The ribbon control on the Electromatic is operated by this button. In for black, out for red, and neutral or central position for writing stencils. Some typewriters have touch controls for regulating the tension on the keys to suit the particular touch of the operator. The purpose of these controls is to make the keys work with a light, medium, or heavy touch as desired. On the L.C. Smith, the touch control is located here. Try it in various positions until you find the desired tension. On the Underwood, the touch control is at the left. Adjust it in the same manner. The Royal places the control on the right side of the typewriter. This knob turns the dial to the desired point. The Remington uses a vertical control on the right of the machine. The Electromatic has an impression indicator here on the motor. This changes the intensity of the type impression. Up is for light impressions, and down is for dark or heavy type impressions. On the noiseless machine, this is the pressure indicator. It moves the carriage forward and back to accommodate a large number of carbon copies. The mechanical operation of a noiseless typewriter is similar to that of a standard typewriter, except it is necessary to use what is called a staccato touch to operate a noiseless machine properly. Notice the staccato touch on the keys. Unlike other manual machines, pressing a key all the way down on a noiseless will only bring the typeface to this position. It does not strike the ribbon. The typeface still has to travel this far. The only way the type can be made to strike the ribbon is through momentum, like this. Therefore, a staccato touch must be used. This is the proper staccato touch. Notice how I strike the keys as if they were hot. The electromatic requires a different touch. Because the type bars are electrically operated, a much lighter touch can be used. On a manual typewriter, still another touch is used. Compare this touch with the other two. There you have the three different styles of touch for the three different kinds of machines, the noiseless, the electric, and the manual.
That covers the important basic techniques of typing. As you practice typing and as you carry on your assigned work, it will help you to remember these important things. Proper typing posture prevents fatigue and makes your work easier. Adjust your chair to the correct height and learn to work without strain. Acquire the proper method of stroking the keys. Achieve the rhythm that denotes a superior typist. Develop the proper mental attitude for practice. Concentrate on the work at hand. Develop self-control. Increase your self-confidence. Eliminate all physical and mental tension. An expert typist never fumbles in making an adjustment, setting margins, or returning the carriage. Save time by knowing how. If you will follow these suggestions and practice conscientiously, you will find that the superior typing technique which you will acquire will mean greater accuracy, less fatigue, more speed, and a larger volume of work turned out daily.